Hi, it's Josh Goldberg here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to briefly talk to you about toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is when someone responds to your emotions with positivity statements. So some examples of this might be, "Oh, I'm feeling really lonely and upset right now because I just got divorced." And the person responds with, "Oh, don't worry, you're a good looking person, you'll find someone else soon." Another example of toxic positivity is you're at work and you say to a close colleague, I'm feeling really frustrated and down about my performance this month." And the close work colleague responds with, "Oh, but you're a great salesman. Don't worry, you'll make more money next month." Or it could be to a spouse. Okay, you say to your spouse like, "Oh, I'm feeling really frustrated with the traffic on the way home from work today." And your spouse responds with, "Yeah, but at least you made it home without getting into a car crash." So this is toxic positivity. It's when someone responds to your emotions with positivity statements, and it can even be with advice or guidance. Okay, so you might ask yourself, what's so bad about someone responding to emotions with positive statements? And the answer is that the positive statement actually carries with it an invisible message, and that invisible message is, it says to the person, your emotions are not valid and your emotions are not important. So this is toxic positivity, and obviously it is emotionally neglectful to provide positive statements or advice or guidance when someone is trying to get their emotions out and to express how they feel. So there's two main reasons why someone would have toxic positivity. The first reason is that they were never given the necessary emotion skills to be able to emotionally connect to another person. And lacking these skills, they can fill this gap with kind of like a fake, over the top toxic positivity, okay? So if they were emotionally neglected as a child, or they just weren't taught how to communicate emotionally and how to deal with emotions, and the person lacks a lot of empathy skills, then it's very common for people to fill that space with this kind of over the top positivity. So that's one reason. The second reason why someone has toxic positivity is that they themselves had some very traumatic experiences or abusive situations in the past that were very painful. It could be from childhood or it could be from a past relationship. And now when any emotional content comes up with anyone else, they seek to avoid that as much as they can because they're trying to avoid their own painful emotions. So any talk of emotions with someone else, they'll tend to fill in that space with, positive statements or guidance or advice because they don't want to talk about emotions. Their emotional connection to themselves has been cut off. Okay, they don't want to feel the unpleasant emotions that they have. So when someone else starts to talk about emotions, they'll tend to be overly positive and provide positive statements and guidance and advice, which is emotionally neglectful, and they're doing it to try and avoid emotional content whatsoever. Okay, their own emotions and the emotions of others. So, what does this have to do with you? So basically, if you have any connections, whether it be professional or friends or family even, or a spouse that has toxic positivity where there's like a pattern of them providing you with positive statements and it's like an over the top positivity or guidance or advice when you express your feelings and emotions to them, if there's a repetition of this, it's very important to identify this person as an emotionally unavailable person, which means that you refrain from expressing your feelings and emotions to this person any longer, okay? Because they're not emotionally available. So just identify this person as someone that is not emotionally available and avoid expressing your emotions to them, because if you continually try to express your emotions to them, their positive statements or their guidance and advice will slowly frustrate you and irritate you and just make you feel as if your feelings and your emotions are not important and that they're not valid, okay? Because they're not trying to understand them and they're not trying to validate them for you. So as part of self-care and looking after your own emotions, be sure to avoid expressing your emotions to people that are not emotionally available and people that have a tendency to provide this positivity to your emotions, okay? It's very important for your own emotional health to not continually try and express your feelings to someone that responds to them with either toxic positivity or with guidance or advice, okay? So this is part of healthy self-care. So if you have a family member or like a spouse or someone at work that you have to remain in contact with, okay, so just try and keep the communication not emotional. So don't express your emotions to this person. If it's your spouse, then you have a bit of a problem, because the whole point of an intimate relationship is to have a deep emotional connection. So that might take some work in order to make that work, or to get out of that situation somehow. So if you have any questions on this, if you're encountering toxic positivity on a regular basis, please feel free to reach out. If you have any comments or questions on toxic positivity or emotional neglect, please put them in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next videos.